Hello lawn mowing people. Today I'm going to talk about what kind of agreement do you want your customers to sign. Now you go around and you do a quote and you book a lawn and the customer says go ahead and do it. Now you may think to yourself that somehow you need to formalise this agreement, and then you might wonder what the other contractors are doing. Well, here in New Zealand the simple answer is that we don't use contracts. It may be different elsewhere in the world, but as far as I know, New Zealand and Australia, we don't use contracts. I've never asked anybody to sign a contract, so they're just not necessary. And I have done lawns, from domestic lawns, I've done supermarkets, I've done retirement villages, and I've even done private hospital, and none of them required a contract. So it's just not necessary in this industry. Now, sometimes I have been asked to sign a contract, and it's normally by property management companies or by a company, and normally those kind of agreements, once I read them, I don't really like them. They normally have terms and conditions. It's you read the small print and it has a thing saying, you know, at the end of the day they don't have to pay you if they don't want to, and things like that. They just have all sorts of things in the tail. So I wouldn't sign any kind of agreement. If someone wants to sign an agreement, I wouldn't go near that job. A verbal agreement is good enough for me. And the other thing is that even if you were to go out to your customers and get them to sign an agreement or a contract, it's going to be awfully hard to enforce. Now, the only time that I would sign an agreement is if I was taking on a full service job, which is if I was going to quote on a property for a year, if I was going to do the lawns, the trees, hedges, the autumn cleanup and all those kind of things, and I was charging a lump sum and then dividing it by 12. Of course you'd sign a contract for that year because you'd want to make sure that you were paid in full for that work. So that would be an exception, but apart from that kind of thing, I wouldn't bother. I've been running my business for 30 years without any need for a contract at all. Now, the one other thing that I would say is, with a verbal agreement, I do have a minimum price for one-off work, and I make sure that the customers know this. If they're getting a quote for a regular job, I'll give them the regular price, and even that is a verbal agreement and not a written contract. So the way I figure it is that if you've got 100 people and they all say to you, yep, you're mowing my lawns every 2 weeks, then you've got a business, and there's nothing else you need to do about it. There's no need to complicate anything when you don't have to. So just go out there and mow lawns and have fun, and happy lawn mowing, everybody.